And so we experience her claws, her fangs, her fire-breathing words that hurt, that sting. But the true prince doesn't back away from the fight. He stays in the fight, endures the flame, and pursues the heart of his beloved when we don't do our part to rise to the occasion and rescue the beauty, and she becomes more vulnerable to the dragon completely taking her over. But always we must remember that we're fighting for the heart of our wife, to release her beauty, her radiance, to help her become all that God has created her to be as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. Every man wants to be the hero, to face the dragon, and to rescue the beauty. But what we often don't realize is that the princess that we're trying to rescue and the dragon are one and the same. In fairy tales, the dragon can represent many different things. Sometimes the dragon is a force of darkness, evil, chaos that must be slayed. At other times, the dragon is this mysterious, untapped power that must be harnessed for good. And at other times, the dragon is the guardian of a precious gift, something sacred that must be protected from harm. And this is the dragon we often meet when we interact with our princess, our wife. That many times her accusations, her criticism, her contempt, her withdrawals, or her defense mechanisms to protect her vulnerable heart. They're her dragon. And so we experience her claws, her fangs, her fire-breathing words that hurt, that sting. But how do we interpret this? It's best interpreted as the dragon that's protecting her heart, her soul. And so how do we now fight for her instead of fighting against her? Where it's tempting when we're facing the dragon to withdraw ourselves. That if you don't want to be rescued, if you are coming at us with all of this contempt and criticism, then it's easy just to back away. That this is not a fight that's worth fighting. That we may fight battles in the workplace, but we don't want to fight battles on the home front. That home for us is a place to rest, to be recharged. And if we have to fight battles at home, then some of us just back out. We just check out. For others, we then enter the ring and fight with her. That if she wants to pull out her claws, we pull out our equivalent and fight with her. And for others, we just shut down altogether. That we can't win, and so we just submit to the dragon. But the true prince doesn't back away from the fight. He stays in the fight, endures the flame, and pursues the heart of his beloved. This is the example that Christ has set for us, as he endured the cross for our sakes, beaten, bruised, and spat upon by the very ones he was trying to save. And so our job as husbands is now to love our wife as Christ has loved the church. And so if he was willing to endure that pain and suffering for the very ones that he was trying to save, how much more do we have to do the same for our wife? That at times when her claws are out, while it's easy to back away or to fight against her or just to shut down, the call of Christ is to stay in the fight and to try to rescue her heart. This is a high call, and perhaps only a few are willing to accept it. But it is the path to the happily ever after that God has for us in our marriage. And so when we're faced with a fierce dragon in our marriage, we must remember that our battle is not against flesh and blood. And so while there's times where we must slay destructive, sinful patterns, when evil has an influence, we must stand fiercely against these things. At other times we are seeking to understand the pain, the hurt, the wounds behind what that dragon is protecting. But always we must remember that we're fighting for the heart of our wife, to release her beauty, her radiance, to help her become all that God has created her to be as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. When we don't do our part to rise to the occasion and rescue the beauty, then she becomes more vulnerable to the dragon completely taking her over, to remaining under the spell of the evil one that blocks her ability to fully radiate the beauty that she was meant to reveal. And so we must not mistake the dragon for our enemy, but stand firm when the very one we love is attacking us, sitting beneath the dragon, to the pain, to the suffering, to the tenderness of her true heart, and to fight courageously to rescue the beauty. If this resonates with you, then like and subscribe and share with other men who might be wrestling with their own dragons in their marriage. And then check out this next video on why the beauty must be rescued. Check that out here.